up, Stir Sticks? It's your boy Mike Javelle from the Cauldron Boys. Before I bring the other boys in, I got something to say. We are doing it a little bit different. We're going back to the old style. We're going to go from scratch. So, without any further ado, please let me bring in my boy Noble Truth.
Yo, what's up, man? I'm walking here.
And my boy Greg, a.k.a. Gruesome
What up? What up?
And then today, we got a special guest. We got the last Midday Magic boy in the house.
Finally, what's up?
Machu.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
What's up, baby?
Appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really hyped
being
for this.
here, always.
We had to
Not as hyped as me, good sir.
Yeah, we had to reschedule. We wanted to do this sooner, so rock on, man. Make it happen.
Heck yeah. Appreciate y'all having me.
So Machu, where can the people find you?
The people can find me on TikTok. You can find me at Machu_801. You can also find me in the Ironborn Discord.
Hey.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
You are hanging out in there with us sometimes.
I know you got a couple streams, right?
Yes, I do. For anybody who doesn't know, I am one of the hosts of Midday Magic. We stream every Sunday at 1 p.m. or 1 p.m. Central Time, and it is unapologetic magic. And I think this is kind of what's led me into the C game, but we'll get into that here in a minute. But also, I just started one of my own with my local buddy, with one of the guys who I've been playing with for years now, and we're actually doing that Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and we're calling this the Flavor Savers. A little bit different than Midday Magic, but what this is, it's kind of taking it back to classic EDH days, back when, you know, games lasted a little bit longer, you had a little more brewing room, there wasn't such a meta, and it's turning out to be something a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Dude, I'm super excited. I know I popped in on the first game the other day, and I was like, I'm all about this. Like, this is dope.
Yeah, it definitely was something different, and I don't think people allowed to see a lot of those like lower powered brews. So hopefully people enjoy it, and we'll see if it turns into something.
So we know with Midday that we've all been on. We love you guys all so much, and there's special rules. There's contingencies, right? Like you can only run three free rocks, 3 free spells, 3 tutors.
Yes.
And that's the Midday flavor. We love it.
You guys do?
Yeah.
I felt like we were like kind of holding y'all back a little bit. Like we had these like thoroughbred racehorses, and we're like, we're not gonna let them run the full speed there. So we felt kind of bad.
Not everybody
really
likes
awesome.
C, so the putting the limit on certain power aspects of the cards makes it a actual challenge to see if our decks can still run at the consistency and the power that we want them to, without being C, but like powerful. Like the turn 2, when I was on turn 2 stelling with those limits, freaking awesome.
So good.
That game was insane. It was so impressive. Like I want to say, I can't say this with absolute authority, but I want to say that was probably the fastest game we've had on Midday Magic.
Setting records. That's what Cauldron Boys do.
Hey, Machu,
We'll
bring
be
yourself
doing that in Noble.
Machu, bring yourself down again. You're in the bar.
Down?
Yeah, you're in the bar.
All right. Sorry about that.
There.
You good?
No,
You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
But yeah, and then there you had Noble Truth at the same time. He was clawing his way. Like I didn't think he was going to get there.
Yeah. Dug and found and grind and held out.
Yeah.
And somehow just made a rolling combo out of nowhere. Which Animar luckily can do that. And I'm like, this will be fun because this used to be like a good C deck.
Yeah, it was awesome. And that's what the rule of 3, just for those who didn't know, originally why we came up with that is because we were trying to find our own lane for Midday Magic. We didn't want to do cEDH. We also didn't want to do anything like 7 or 8 power. We wanted to find something kind of unique to us because it was what we enjoyed playing. When me, Swamp, and Thane got together, that's kind of what we were naturally playing as it was anyway, because we just wanted to have fun with it. And we were trying to think of how's a way to where we can make it universally known to where like we're not dipping our toes into the sea pool. We want to get close to it. We want to flirt with that line, but we don't want to go actually into it. And having only 3 tutors, only 3 free spells when it came to, you know, Fierce Guardianship, Deflecting Swat, Deadly Relic, etc. And then having limited it to 3 fast mana rocks felt like kind of like the perfect balance. And it's been working out pretty well for so far.
It makes for good games.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't missed the Midday Magic, and I never plan to.
What else it does is it takes higher tier commanders and lower tier commanders and bring them everybody right about level 2. So
it does. It's going to allow more experimenting too with different power levels of things. With the limit, it definitely will make it where some of the non-strong ones can still be strong and perform well.
So does the other stream? Do you have this kind of rules or rule sets like that too?
No, not necessarily. It's more of like a Rule Zero conversation. For the Flavor Savers, we are aiming for that one to have just where that deck that you can't pull out when you sit down and you see Edgar and ninjas, and you just know that, like, hey, this deck that I wanted to like just test out, that I just brewed, or it's the deck that I kind of pull out when somebody says they have a slightly upgraded precon, and you almost don't want to pull it out because you know it's not going to do necessarily everything you want it to do, or it's not going to really hang in there.
Or
that's where we want to
do what you want anyway.
Yeah, and then people that just have exactly like just a theme deck or something that they can't pull out in a typical EDH game. Give you a good example of that. I have a book tribal deck. You guys ever seen book tribal?
I think I played against the first time we played a game, right?
Yeah, tribal decks. That's inspiring.
Yeah, it's book tribal, so it's Sidri, Galvanic Genius. Right? If I remember right, she's Esper. She's white, black, blue. And she lets you turn any artifact into a creature equal to its CMC. So when, and it actually was a gift, but when they brewed it up for me and we were going through it, he just slapped a whole bunch of artifact books into the deck. And you just turn those books, and you use them for value. You just use them as utility artifacts up until the point when you're ready, like, oh, hey, this 5 CMC book, I'm going to turn it into an artifact, and I'm going to win con. You know, throw the book at him,
Throw the book at him.
And
so
the
like
win
Beauty
con,
and the Beast shit right there.
Yeah, the win con in it, and it's my favorite thing to do in it, is it's Animate Library. Animate Library is an uncard, and it allows you to turn your deck. Yeah, your library into a creature. And so you turn it into a creature, and I've been able in certain games to turn my deck into a 79/79, right, creature, and then I turn around and I use Suspicious Bookcase to make it unblockable. And it is the sweetest feeling in the world to know that when you can do that to somebody, and they're like, "Did you?" I was like, "Yeah, I just killed you with my library, sir."
The hard way.
How does that make you feel?
Knowledge is the power.
Or is that the easy way? Have we been playing the hard way the whole time? That might be the easy way.
We might have been playing it the hard way.
Like, you play your library your way, I'll play it mine. By the way, you're dead.
By the way, you're dead.
Valid.
But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at as far as the Flavor Savers. It's me and my buddy, and the first week that we just had last weekend, we brought in 2 other members of our pod just to kind of share what we were doing, and then we're actually bringing in 2 members from Spell Table that we know. You guys might know them. I think we're going to be bringing in Casper, and we're also going to be bringing in Broadster. So they're going to be on this upcoming one.
Awesome.
Oh, I saw Brode. I didn't realize Casper was in it too. That's pretty cool.
My brother, so
yeah. So
Brode's a homie, and so is Casper. So, All right, guys. So today we're going to be brewing Sauron, the Dark Lord. If you don't know who Sauron is, you've been living under a rock for a while because it's absolutely disgusting, right? So it's 3 in Grixis, and you know we love our Grixis colors.
That's it. That's it.
It's our favorite color combo. It's also subjectively the best color combo. Fight me in the comments. Dare you.
I don't think anybody has an argument against that.
So
bring it. Let's try.
What I like here about Sauron is that what happened was Machu, we had talked about brewing a deck. He wants to get into cEDH a little bit more, right? Like, he already plays at a kind of a competitive-ish level, but now he's ready to, you dip your toes in. And you came here and we were talking about high-powered Grixis, and then it kind of evolved into, hey, let's make a C deck. So we were like, we want to do something different than out of the mill that's not totally, like, makes no sense to run. But in this format, we were like, here's a couple ideas. And what were the other ones we pitched?
It was the painter from
Anello the painter, right?
And Cornella.
Yeah, chick who taps.
So she taps for
haste.
So we had talked about a few of them, but then we came around and we're like, just look at this bad boy, Sauron. Just look at him. And I've seen a few Sauron decks, and when they play, they play. So
they do play.
What's a few things?
So are you saying that when they play for keeps? That's what I'm about.
They show up. It's kind of like that attraction. Right. It's got that attraction vibe, really.
Okay. Yeah, it's like either you're going to be the biggest threat on the table, or you're going to spend.
And you can't kill this guy once he's in play. Look at that number one reward: sacrifice a legendary artifact or legendary creature. Most people are gonna be like, he's fine.
I don't want to lose my commander.
And I just want to thank you guys so much, because that kind of encapsulates me. I don't know how much you guys... Well, you guys are tuned in to Midday Magic. That's usually what I'm doing. Either I'm usually the villain, or I'm just sitting there telling dad jokes. And I'm just like, okay. Like, I don't have a gray area. I'm either doing nothing, and I'm just trying to crack people up with some laughter, or, like, I am the villain, and I'm a problem.
This will solidify your spot as the villain, the problem, and the dad joker. Because if they get rid of Sauron... It's going to be a while before you cast them again.
Don't be part of the problem.
Jokes, here I come.
Don't be part of the problem. Be the whole problem.
Be the whole problem.
We are here for that. So, and this is what's going to make you a problem. It's that second ability. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, amass Orcs 1. So tell us, actually, didn't Machu, you just brought it up to us earlier? What did they just recently change with the armies? Was there?
With the armies. Part of doing my research when I was looking into this, that they actually changed with the armies. So I know the previous one was a zombie army, and now they have the orc armies. And when you trigger the amass mechanic, from everything I know, it doesn't make you both. You don't get to have both. You don't get to have zombies and orcs. It goes into
one army. It's an army token.
Yes.
Right.
But you get both typings.
Yeah, it becomes a zombie orc army.
Nice. That's fair.
If
they're going to change things up, they might as well give you both creature types, right?
Yeah.
So, but the real kicker, whenever an opponent casts a spell, like, going to be a problem quick. So,
yeah.
It's like a body heuristic study, but you can't pay for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it's just like
lots of things to do with creatures. If you're going to keep making creatures, you can do a lot with them, especially if you're only using them one or two at a time. So the next thing, right? Whenever an army you control deals combat damage to a player, the ring tempts you. We know the ring. There's no downside to the ring temps. There's only, arguably, the best one is draw a card, discard a card when your ring bearer attacks. So that's card advantage. That's probably the best feature. But hey, it's almost like a free mechanic. So that's going to happen probably in this deck anyway. The ring, that's cool. But then the real thing about being tempted with the ring is this part. Read it. Do you want it? I read this in a primer. No. Do you want Ancestral Recall to be unbanned? Then here you go. Whenever the ring tempts you, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 4 cards. So, what does this mean? What does this mean?
That means it's 2 things, right? It means we're going to be cycling through our deck pretty quick, hopefully faster than everybody else is. It also means that we are a breach deck.
We are the breach deck, yeah.
Yeah, we are going to be, wheeling ourselves over and over again. And we may go down on cards, right? But if we're holding 3 lands and we pitch those to the graveyard, well, then that's just breach fodder.
This is considerably the second best combo in cEDH is breach lines. People, there's other arguments, but it's first is this one. Thassa's Oracle and Demonic Consultation, or Tainted Pact.
And Tainted
Before
Pact.
we move on to that one, with Brain Freeze and Underworld Breach, you are able to Brain Freeze yourself out, and then your Thoracle will hit the grave, and then you can also cast the Thoracle from the graveyard, triggering the Thoracle effect.
Well put. Well said.
Which says you win the game if your library is less than the amount of blue pips you have. So that is the additional win for the Underworld Breach. It's Brain Freeze, Thassa's Oracle, Underworld Breach is a win.
Well, Thassa's Oracle itself is inherently the best card in C. It is It is the GOAT. It is the card to that is where Wizards of the Coast stopped the bar at Thassa's Oracle. Put it that way, and nothing has passed it, and it's just auto win. You just win.
Hot take.
Well, it makes sense that it'd be a blue card. Well, I appreciate you guys explaining that to me because I wasn't quite sure if it because I'm familiar with Underworld Breach, but I didn't know if there was like a specific line or a specific combination of cards that you needed to get to in order to get it. So I appreciate you clearing that up for me. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is what you're going to have this. You'll have this to go to forever. So, like, once you start getting in this, you're jumping right into the fireman. But tell us, Greg, why these two combo with Thassa's Oracle as well, and what makes it arguably the most. So notice, it's 2 blue pips, which is about as costly blue pip-wise as we're going to spend on anything. So
yeah, double pips are always hard, but Thassa is worth it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So these 2 cards right here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I want to go fast.
So this deck wants to go fast. Sauron is a 6 cost. So let's just start doing all the rocks, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about our other main line. We'll add that in there and let you go on about it while I add them in, right? Yeah, this is what our whole deck's trying to do. Are you familiar with this card?
Which one is the?
And it's the ad nauseum, sir.
I am familiar with the card, but as far as it being in C, I am not. So if you guys don't mind breaking it down.
Ooh. Pick me.
Yeah, please do. I'm gonna plug these in.
All right. So these cards, I'm about to name a couple, right? These are what we call enablers, okay? Yeah, usually they follow a big turn. Or you play these and then a big turn happens afterwards. So Adnos, Necropotence, Peer into the Abyss, Bolas' Citadel, right? These are enablers, right? Mm-hmm. We play these. Usually it's a dogfight to get them to resolve. Okay?
Yeah. This is where all your counters.
If you get them in the land.
Yeah. If you get them to land, well then, oh boy, everybody else on the table better buckle up because we're finna do it. You know what I'm saying?
Put your seatbelt on, boys.
Yeah. Here we go. We're on a roll. So Adnos, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to its converted mana cost. You may repeat this process any number of times, right? Well, so what it is you cast Adnos, you reveal the top card, right? Say it's a demonic tutor, right? Mana value is 1 generic and a black, right? So you lose 2 life. You can then continue the process, right? Next one, land, 0. Another one, land, 0, right? All right, cool. Okay. Next one, mana crypt. All right, 0, right? And we can continue that, right? And we add all these to our hand, and we keep going, and we keep going, and we keep going, right? Until we have either a win con in hand
of your life.
Yes.
Tutor
at the cost of your life.
Or enough 0 rocks, fast mana, or tutors to go and get what you need, and with counterspell backup.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So Adnos is typically there are sad noises where you don't win, and there's hi, Greg, and I've known that's Greg's kind of deal over there. Like mine's the terrible Ristic Mystics, but then Greg's the sad noise.
Did you guys just spin it and say sad noise? Okay, now that is the first for me.
I cast a lot of Adnoses, but I pass the turn right away.
It's so bad that
I go down to 3 and have nothing I can do.
Oh man,
it's so bad that sometimes I'll just let his Adnos resolve because it's like
you already know he's saving a counter spell. No, I'm gonna need that counter spell, not for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that counter spell, not for this Adnos though.
Very, very not often does my Adnos work out for me.
So on that note,
I don't know why. I just suck at Adnos.
It's the universe, man. It's not, but you still gotta try.
Yeah, I get enough Ristic Mystics where I do have to have something that sucks.
You gotta try. You cannot. You have to try every time. All right. So real quick, we'll go into the fast mana real fast. These are the things you'll want to be able to cast off your Adnos: your Arcane Signet, Chromox, Felwar Stone, Grim Monolith, Jeweled Lotus. LED is part of a combo. Lotus Petal's not just a mana rock. 0 free mana. 0 drop, 1 extra mana for gas. And a combo piece. It is just mana. It's acceleration. So you turn 1 looks real good. Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, Mox Diamond, Mox Opal, Soul Ring, talismans, 2 of them. Not the creativity one because we didn't want the blue orb. We need more or less the black for both of these for Adnause. So the One Ring and Wishclaw. So 16, right? We got some mana rocks. We have our win cons. We have 28 lands in deck and Sauron. We're already over 50 cards.
Hey, so since we are on the One Ring, are we a dramatic reversal loop kind of deck? Because I mean, why not?
Because our commander's a wheel in the Ancestral Recall staple.
It's also 6 though.
I just think the card slots could be better used.
I do believe the card slots would be better used elsewhere.
Yeah.
Tapping a bunch of our artifacts isn't really something where our commander benefits from.
I got you. Okay.
And he doesn't even matter if creatures can tap.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even have
he
an activated.
He doesn't care about tapping at all.
He doesn't even have an activated ability. You know, he's like literally it's all triggers. The dude's ridiculous.
Like we're looking just to abuse triggers, right?
That's it.
Yeah, triggers. Use triggers, so we don't need to tap or untap a whole bunch of things. Yes, it would help with drawing more cards, but like we need to use those to get our triggers probably.
So, what are we going in on then? Let's talk about creature base or more fast mana, right? We need Simian Spirit Guide.
Mm-hmm.
We should probably do a Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, Calling Ritual.
Yeah.
Because if you're aiming for Adnause, the rituals are going to be perfect, right?
Calling the week.
Yeah, ritual.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely will help.
Calling the week.
It's the difference between 3 mana and 17. I've gone from 3 mana to 17 just off of rituals and stuff like that before. On turn 3. Yeah, on turn 3.
On turn 3?
Should we use? Yeah. So how do we feel? How many rituals do we want to run? Should we consider Pyretic, Desperate, Rite of Flame?
We have an expensive commander. Yes.
Probably
because we have an expensive
each
commander.
one of them is exponentially more, so maybe
I don't know if we go Mana Geyser though, you know, like that's a lot.
Mana Geyser? No, sorry, I didn't hear Mana Geyser. Mana Geyser at 5 mana.
No, he didn't say Mana Geyser. I was just bringing it up. I don't think we go Mana Geyser. I don't
3
think
or less rituals.
So Desperate.
Yep.
Desperate's fine. Yeah.
Pyretic and Rite of Flame.
Yeah.
These are all. So now we're up to like
Calling
60
the Week
cards.
is great, so we can sack our little zombie army.
Calling the Week, yep, for something to do with your mass.
Yeah.
And when I had the opportunity to ask, I was going to say, I'm like, how viable in a C game would it be to be able to sack the army for value? Or does that kind of get you off into the weeds a little bit?
Well,
it kind of depends. Honestly.
So when we were talking about it, we've got the sacrifice effects that cause free spells or tutors for sacrificing a creature. But then this would be a good deck for an altar that lets you just sack a creature for mana.
Mm-hmm.
But that one would be more questionable because you just have to make sure you'll have those instants to be able to use the creature that you sack for mana. There is the Calling the Weak or Diabolic Intent. Those sack a creature, the army.
So speaking of sacking a creature, here's one. And fast mana. We know Dockside's going in, right? Must
Dockside
run.
for sure.
Now,
yeah.
I feel like this is a Chthonian Nightmare deck. You guys familiar with this new card?
Mm-mm.
So
no.
It is the new way to loop. It's better than Curio. It's not an artifact. Ooh, hold on.
Hey, you got 2 Dark Rituals in there.
Thanks. That's literally what I was adjusting.
I kept meaning to say it.
So
when you said like hold on, and I was like, shit, better tell him now.
Chthonian Nightmare. Oh. That one.
Alright, so this card. Yeah, so this card is the new way to loop Dockside and Ballmaster. It gives you access in Rakdos. It's better than Cloudstone Curio. You don't have to cast the sorcery speed really. So what it does when it's for 1 black and a colorless. When it enters, you get 3 energy counters. Who cares? Pay X energy. It's going to be 2, right? Sacrifice a creature. Return Chthonian Nightmare to its owner's hand. So you're going to sacrifice your Dockside. Then return target creature with mana value X from your graveyard, which is going to be 2, to the battlefield. Dockside nets you more than 2. Now you makes you 3 treasures. You could play Chthonian again. and then
that is gross.
sacrifice your dockside, gain 1 treasure extra every time. Go get your bowmaster or whatever, play your bowmaster and loop that. So.
Oh man, I'm getting excited over here. I'm getting like palm sweats over here. Like I want.
This card's hot, it's hot tech right now, and I'm such a fan. And here's why: because it also returns a lot of our other lower cost creatures. Say something happens to your Thassa's Oracle.
Okay.
Some of the other creatures we're going to run, there's only going to be a handful of them, right? So I think probably we're going to want Orcish.
Most of our creatures are going to be low. Yeah, we do. Imperial Recruiter. Don't forget to add that one.
Imperial Recruiter. We need a Ragavan.
Ragavan.
Do it for the Raggy. Raggy with the claw.
And quit it. So we got a Dothy in this or not? Because we don't really do it. I don't think we need a Dothy, dude.
I don't know. It might be good for the free counter.
We need a Phyrexian Metamorph.
Yeah, I would run it for now, so that way, if we have to cut it, it's perfectly fine. But Dothy is good for graveyard hate. There's a ton of graveyard shenanigans that go on.
No, that's not there.
When World Breach is a major thing.
Yeah, so like it pretty much makes them like get rid of Dothy Voidwalker before they can go into their Underworld Breach loop. So there's another like piece of interaction that they had to use for Dothy Voidwalker that you never know down the line it might be good in our might be good on our turf.
Do we like Talion in this list?
Talion draw cards, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I do. So Talion, talk about that real quick, Greg. Tell us why he's so good.
Talion, whenever it enters, you name a number between 0 and 10, and
2.
anytime an opponent 2.
It's always 2.
What? Oh, you're saying the number.
It's all you ever need to know, Machu, is you're going to want to say 2.
You name a number between 0 and 10, and anytime a opponent plays a card with mana value, power, or toughness with that number, they lose 2 life, and you draw a card.
Power or toughness or mana cost.
Power or toughness or mana value. If you messed my brain up, you turd. The most common numbers played in C is 1 or 2, but 2 is absolutely the most common, and when it comes to mana value, power or toughness,
boom,
over
boom,
1.
Boom. Triggers all day. Boom, boom,
but
boom.
1 and 2 are usually really good bets, but 2 beats out 1. 2 is what you probably want to name.
Okay.
So,
and it's total mana value, not like how Talion is 2 and then Dimir. It's like 2 total. Tainted Pact. It's 2 mana.
We like Fimmage here?
Copy the One Ring. Yeah. Copy.
No, creature.
Darkside.
It's any creature, yeah. Get you another.
No, Phyrexian Metamorph. Fimmage. Oh, sorry, I thought,
well,
Fimmage.
I did add that too.
Part. If we're going Reanimator, I like Fimmage.
Well, are we going to do Reanimate?
We are discarding our hand.
Yeah, I mean,
we're
going to
have to. Like, you're going to need to at some point in time, I would think. It wouldn't mean it's always good to get your dog side back.
Do we like Entomb?
Possible Oracle, too.
Yeah, in case something happens.
Potentially Thassa's Oracle, yeah. Or Bowmaster. 2 Bowmasters would be awesome.
Let's do our tutors and counter spells.
Yeah. Get those in for sure.
Ooh, pick me, Noble, pick me.
Oh, wait.
I gotta know what we're picking.
Sure. What's up, Mom?
I got a question because I have a card in my collection that I've never actually placed in the deck. Is Mental Misstep, is that a card that you can throw into this one? Because it's one that...
Yeah.
Mike Javale,
I'm so glad you are here today, my boy. You are saying stuff because let me tell you, Mental Misstep is one of the saltiest things you could ever play. And
somebody's turn 1 Soul Ring for free. You're like, oh, Mental Misstep.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay 2 life and I'm gonna get that Soul Ring, or Lumpy hit me the other day.
Look, Demonic Consultation, WinCon, 1 cost.
I was playing Atraxa. I said, I'm going to pay 1 Dark Rit. He said Mental Misstep. I said, all right, cool, pass.
There's a lot of 1-cost tutors also. Mental Misstep is like one of the only counter the tutor cards out there. Mm-hmm. Most of the time you counter whatever they tutor for. Yeah. Mental Misstep, if it's a 1-drop tutor, you counter the tutor.
Right.
You ain't vampiring this turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that card
also, turn 1, there's a lot of 1-drops
and
usually.
free.
Mana Vault, Soul Ring, as Mike said, or Mystic Remora that Mike has used a ton of times to counter my Mystic Remora because he's a butthole.
You don't want you to have that card draw.
Even if you're last in turn order, if you have the mental misstep, you're stopping somebody's card draw. You're stopping somebody's ramp for sure.
Okay. Now, I'm excited to play this card because I found it in my collection. I was testing the waters, playing blue at my LGS, and I was like, okay, well, hey, that's a pretty good counterspell. And I remember the first time I mental misstep somebody's Soul Ring. It was not pretty.
Yeah.
It did not go well.
Yeah.
I took it out of the deck.
That's a free spell. Casual players do not like free spells. It may be a 2 life. Life total is a resource. You're not paying mana for it. It's something you can do when you're tapped out. Casual don't like it.
Countering somebody's Soul Ring in casual anyways is just like...
That's true. Yeah.
It's just the end of the world.
Yeah. It's almost as bad as stifling the Revolving Wilds.
Yep.
Which has happened to me.
Seems almost like a waste. Like there's so much other things I would think you would want to stifle versus an Evolving Wild. But I mean, I guess if it sets them back on their mana fixing, maybe.
Yeah,
they're down on land and they don't get the search for one.
That was an entire thing of learning a new playgroup, and that I was playing underpowered decks. I learned real fast. Nah, let's play a little harder.
I think the grossest thing I've ever done is set out 3 mana, and then somebody played a fetch land as their land for turn, cracked it, and then I flashed in opposition agent on them.
Ooh.
We on Oppo Asia here? We're only on 10 creatures.
I mean, I think a little bit of hate bears in this deck would be a good thing.
It works for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
If we have the space for it at the end,
I mean, we're playing. We're mana concerned and ritualed out too, so.
Yeah, we do have enough rituals to where that hopefully that'll work.
All right. So, and then did we go? I mean, I know we talked about mental misstep, but did we talk about any other counterspells interaction?
So as I was adding,
Noble was adding those in while we were talking.
So these are your staples, and here's why: Fierce Guardianship. Actually, I don't know if we should play this one.
Fierce, no. Fierce,
he's too
I
much.
don't think we should play.
He's better in Turbo, but I don't think that. I think that's a free slot there. I'd rather run like Dispel, to be honest.
What's the one that you counter? Is counter target? I think it's instant or sorcery, but you untap 2 lands, where it's
snap. You bounce 2 creature back. And
Unwind counters a spell and untap your 2 lands.
3 lands.
Yeah, unwind.
Or 4.
Oh, it might be 3.
I don't think unwind's good.
That's not the one I was thinking of. There's a 2 mana version.
I like Dispel and delay. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Dispel. That's the 1-drop one.
1-drop target instant. It's protection for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, what do we have here? I added Dispel. We have Flusterstorm. That's an OG classic. Because we are kind of a Stormish deck, right? Force of Negation. That's a free one. To save the game, typically on somebody else's turn. That's to save the gamer. Force of Will. That's obviously the best in the game. Mental Misstep. We talked about how good that is. Pact of Negation is another free one.
Don't ever play it if you don't have 5 mana in your upkeep.
Or you're trying to win this turn, you're going to win, and that's you're going to play that because you're trying to win right now. Or you're saving the game and you need to pay for it. Don't martyr yourself.
Don't do like me and Noble, and both of us cast a pact, and then all of our artifacts get blown up when we're sitting across the table from the.
Yeah. So speaking of that, we'll add Cyclonic Rift too because you're gonna need that.
Did somebody Vandal Blast you guys just because?
It wasn't Vandal Blast, but it was close.
I think it was a culling ritual.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It was a culling
ritual. You sack everything that's 2 or less, and then they get mana. And so there goes all your rocks. So they had 2 or 3 lands, and that was it because they lost all the rocks.
We couldn't pay our pack triggers.
We couldn't pay.
Dude, we died to pack both of us at the same turn.
And we were right down in seat 3 and 4 where we always belong. Where shit rolls downhill.
Well, we came back with a vengeance, though.
Yeah,
we went hard and heavy.
Yeah, we did. Yes, sir.
All right. So, what about Mana Drain? Do you think Mana Drain has a place in this?
It is rare. Tell me, Mike.
Mana draining is ramp and double blue. And this, because your commander is high, I'm a little bit on it, but I haven't been playing double blue pip counter spells in a while.
I love mana drain. I love mana drain.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, because that seems, the double pips seems like something, especially with this deck, that you might want to stay away from. But
it is
ramp for sure.
Well,
it is definitely something you
hold
want
it up with the intention of ramping with it. Like, you don't, I'm sure you could use it in a pinch, but like, you're gonna want to make sure you cast your commander next turn, which it can serve as a quasi Jewel Lotus for all that. And really,
speaking of which, Jewel Lotus needs to be in here.
This one?
It is.
Yeah, there.
I already added all the rocks, so we're good on that.
Good.
Which is your typical staple package?
The new Swan Song card, Strix Serenade. Artifact, enchantment, and creature that stops the dockside.
It is a
new Swan Song?
Strix Serenade?
It's Strix Serenade.
I mean, I did keep Red Ellie because it's not swattable, right? But I mean,
yeah, it is not swattable.
I like Delay better than I probably like that, right? Nobody's ever going to cast that again. 2-drop, counter target spell.
I love delaying a counterspell. It's hilarious.
Delay's funny.
Delaying a counterspell.
Delay and add-ons.
Real quick.
Well, that one sucks.
What about Toxic Deluge, right? So
yeah, I was just going to say this, Mike. Okay, bring us to that. We need some interaction.
As our Orc army gets bigger and Sauron's already a 6 toughness, like that's bigger than 90% of what we're going to see, except for like the Kennen player, right?
Kennen and Tivit.
Yeah. So, I mean, we deluge for 5, and we're sitting there with like a 30-30 Orc army going, and our commander.
Oh,
yeah, I was going to say, and you get to keep your commander, so you get to keep your huge Orc army and your commander when you're deluging for 5.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So what other kind of interaction should we hold up? Is this a Chain of Vapor?
A Rift.
Well,
I did have
creatures. How much are you guys concerned about? Are you in C? Are you concerned about creatures landing as much as you are about instants and such?
They're a means.
No, creatures are only useful for their effects. You're not really attacking. There are some decks that attack, but like you're not too worried about attacks. So
put it this way.
Well,
here like we were saying in this breakdown specifically, you have. Right, Dothi, Orc, Bowmaster, they're kind of stacksy. They do things to stop the other table, to stop the rest of the table, right? They hurt them. Then you have Dockside, which is gas. Imperial Recruiter is a tutor. You have Ragavan, which is gas. It can give you a card, or turn 1 Ragavan's legendary. This is free mana. This is a win con. Fimage and Fimage both, or Metamorph, both copy something else in play. Who knows? You can make somebody else, you can make a Tivit. You can have your own Tivit or something. And then Talion's card advantage and stacks. So there's 4 cards that punish.
Okay. The reason why I ask is because I got a bit of a pet card, and I'm not trying to go pet card with this at all, but I was like, if we had an opportunity to sneak it in, Withering Boon is one of my favorite counter spells, and people never see it coming, but I don't know if it's seaworthy, so I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Withering Boon hasn't been seaworthy in quite some time.
I figured as much, but just thought I'd throw it out there. Just
it was OG. It was OG counterspell.
Yeah, I love that card actually, but it is just a creature spell.
Yeah, that's
because we want Adnaw's mana, the One Ring mana. I mean, Adnaw's life and One Ring life. The 3 life is a lot.
Yeah, because you want your life is a resource here, which is like we don't even like Ancient Tomb really, but it is 2 mana, and that's why Obsidia Brass is 1, and we hate that, but we definitely don't see Tarnished in it out. So, which is too much life.
Yeah. You got to be careful on just what you're paying life for.
Are we on Chain of Vapor?
Yeah, because you can bounce all your rocks to get more mana.
Cast your Sauron.
Yeah, that was something I had to find out the hard way with my Veto deck, which is probably my most powerful deck, but I got to a point where I was playing with my life total a little too much.
So, the biggest creatures that you really don't want is like, we hate Grand Abolisher when it's not ours. We hate Docksides that aren't ours. We hate
Magistrate, what is he?
Magistrate,
Drainus Magistrate in this
would
suck.
Well, you're still a turbo, Noah's like quasi turbo.
Yeah, you can. There's a drain in, you can pivot away from needing him.
But
we have other strategies.
Collector Oof, we hate Collector Oofs.
Actually, there is versions of this Sauron that runs Cursed Totem, which means activated abilities of creatures can't be activated, which doesn't affect us at all except Dothy.
Yeah, they're just triggered abilities besides Dothy.
So, I'll put it in here. It's kind of one of those things that shuts down like pretty much any green or white stuff. Yeah, exactly. Well said.
I was looking at Mike when I said Kennen, by the way.
Before we add the final four, and I did pop Mindbreak Trap in there because there's another classic free cost. This will save you the game.
Mindbreak Trap. Mindbreak Trap is the best, bro.
Yeah, I love that card so much. Force of Will's to OG, hands down, probably the best counterspell. I'll die on that. I'll die on that hill.
I don't know. I've been fucking with that Mindbreak Trap, bro.
So, the fourth
really wish I had a force before a mind break during my turns before.
There's a couple cards that come in handy here, and I wanted to say that too while considering interaction. Since we were talking about cards that do things, like especially since Sauron does things like when the ring tempts you, you can chuck your whole hand. We want to have a couple things that may facilitate that. So if you chuck your hand, draw a card, and one of them tempts the ring, you're going to do it again. And you can always play at instant speed, really. So, well, you can respond at that speed anyway. So one of them is Birthday Escape. Right? I like this one. Draw a card, ring tempts you. It's really simple.
Birthday Escape. That's a new one for me.
It replaces
It's for
itself.
Lord of the Rings. It's only really used here.
Yeah. It's only really used here.
Just draw a card, the ring tempts you. So draw a card, discard your hand, draw 4.
There's a couple more.
Sorcery speed, but still, that's pretty good.
The Soothing of Smeagol. Oh.
We're soothing Smeagol now?
Yeah, we're soothing.
Man, now you guys are getting into my flavor Jones. Here we go.
You love it? You love it? It's smoothing. Such a smooth Smeagol. So it just bounces a target non-token creature to its owner's hand. You can bounce creatures, like your own dockside.
Ooh, that's real smooth, like hair grease.
Yeah, just like that. I love it.
Instant speed also, so you can trigger it. You can trigger the ring tempt on an opponent's turn.
And then what's the other big one that enchantment? Call
of the Ring.
Mm-hmm. Call of the Ring.
Which is
during every one of your upkeeps, the ring tempts you, and when the ring tempts you, you can pay 2 life to draw a card.
Yeah. So
I guess if you have a creature to choose as your ring bearer, correct? Because if you don't have a creature,
every time you choose a creature as a ring bearer, specifically.
So there's 3 cards that do the tempting. Anyway, just they only leaves us 5 slots. Now we really got to be considerate.
Yes, y'all.
Magnifique. But we really need to be kind of conscious about what we do here. Yes, sir. Mike Javell.
Shieldred the Apocalypse. We're going to be wheeling ourselves anyways.
Yes, we are drawing cards.
That gives us a little personal flair. I think so.
Yeah, it'll give us some
Machu?
extra life to deal
with. And at worst case, you're going to bait out some of their removal because you know they're going to want to deal with it.
Yeah, and they're not going to be dealing with Sauron being stack a legendary artifact creature, a legendary something. They're not going to want to deal with that. Which means Sauron will be even harder to deal with if they're pointing stuff at those.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. What about Necropotence and Born?
Yes, please.
That is our flavor. Necropotence and Born, we put that in most Dimir. Yeah.
That is our thing. And here's why. Enlighten Machu on the things that you can do and we have done to each other.
Have you heard of Necropotence at all?
You know what Necropotence is?
Yes, I do. God, remind me. Pay the life, and you can just pretty much keep going.
Exile
with digging,
a card, and then at the beginning of your end step, you put them into your hand, and then you have to discard down. So,
and then with that, Greg, tell us the rest.
So, Born Upon a Wind says you may play spells this turn as though they had flash. It doesn't say until end of turn. It says this entire turn, so up until the turn ends. So Necropotence, you pay life to exile cards, and then at your end step you put those to hand.
Okay.
During that moment, if you happen to have Born, then when you put those to hand, you don't have to discard. Or Emergent Zone, yes.
I want to add that.
Getting Flash means you can start playing Mana Rocks if you hit them. You can hit Rituals. You can play your Breach lines. Because Necropotent says when you discard a card, then you exile it, but that's a trigger. So with Underworld Breach, if you also hit that with your Necropotent's life, your Necropotent's draw, then you get to still breach out of your graveyard at the same time because of the Flash. You can respond to the trigger to exile it by casting.
The way it works is because there's two parts to the cleanup step. There's the cleanup and then there's discard. So the Necropotence happens in that first part where you... Right, so you can reactivate it because once the trigger happens, when you go to discard, it can be responded to. So you'll put the cards in your hand and then go to discard, and before you actually do discard them, you'll have a chance to maintain priority. And then you can cast your Born, thusly play everything at instant speed the whole way out. And if you stop and you run out of cards, you can exile more actually, because you will go back to the first part of your cleanup step. I think you'll go back to the first part of your cleanup step, not the discard part, but the actual cleanup, and then put those cards back in your hand. So you'll refuel your own hand after boarding to fuel your graveyard for breach. So you can kind of keep going with the loop, and that's what makes it really hard to deal with.
It's
like a loophole.
If I'm not mistaken, Necropotence at the end, it's like you exile them, but then you draw them? Is that the way it is?
You put them to hand. It's not a draw.
It's not a draw?
Any draw effects.
Okay.
You exile the card
at the beginning of your end step.
Okay.
But then after that, triggers happen, which is the discard.
Because I was like, man, Shieldred on the field with the Necropotence might be fucking stupid.
Seems good.
Shieldred and just your commander being tempted by the ring is good enough.
Yeah.
So we got 2 slots left. I don't know. How do you guys feel about an Animate Dead or something like that?
We're discarding. Might as well reanimate Dockside or Shieldred.
We have 2 slots left.
Did we throw in a reanimate? I know we did Entomb.
We did do a reanimate and an Entomb. Where's reanimate the sorcery anyway? So.
What about a Mnemonic?
Manamo?
Meme Betrayal? Meme Betrayal?
Yeah.
I like Meme Betrayal here. It's like 3 cost cards that when you counter somebody's win con, you can just like do that and win yourself kind of thing.
Yeah, you get to play with your opponent's graveyards.
And it's counter reactive, but also if somebody did like a turn 1 Vamp Tutor or Demonic Tutor, and you wanted to turn 1 do that, or turn 2, or somebody had Naws and you could copy it, or I don't know. Like, there's a lot of different uses.
It's very utility. Yeah. It just depends on what you want to do, right?
It can win games.
If you, for example, if somebody gets if you're holding your Thassa's Oracle in hand, right, but they got their consultation or whatever countered, because it does happen, right? People are like, I can't.
Or they
I can't.
used it as a tutor, basically.
Yeah, or they use it as a tutor. Then you get to, right? And then now you can be like, all right, cool. Out of your graveyard, I'm gonna play yours on top of my Thassa's Oracle.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like if it came after the Wheel of Fortune, like it would be perfect.
Yeah.
Basically. Like, you're just, let's go. Off to the races. Exactly, you're thinking exactly what you need to be thinking, because that's fucking facts right there.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to already get into pilot mode of this, and it does take me a couple of games to get used to a new build, but when I do, whoa, baby.
Dude, you'll sit down and it's real nice. You're going to feel real nice. So, it's going to sit nice, and what you're going to be doing is playing a shell of the highest, of the best 3 color combinations in the game.
Okay.
And
now we have 1 slot left, and out of curiosity, is 1 board clear enough in C? Out of curiosity, I'm not sure.
2.
Oh, okay. Are we running Psych? We did
absolutely.
Yo, you kind of have to. Is that like just an auto include almost?
Yes.
Yeah.
You need a SWAT.
SWAT is free when you have your commander. We just have to. That's why we got rid of Fierce. But SWAT is really, really good. So might as well.
I guess we don't really need it, but or Rollick, to be honest, right? Same
Well,
thing.
I wouldn't do Rollick. I would keep SWAT because if you have the SWAT and Sauron out and somebody does pay the ward by sacrificing their commander and then you swat it away, that's even extra feels bad for them.
Yeah,
Is there anything that could be better than that?
Yes, bolt bend. Because here's the thing, right? Is like if we have Shieldred out, well then bolt bend's turned on.
What does bolt bends cost? Yeah.
I am not familiar with bolt bend.
Well, it costs 3 less, so it goes from being free to
it got 1 red.
It's 1 red, instant speed?
Yeah, but you have to have a creature with power 4 or greater, which is only Shieldred.
Shieldred, your army.
Or your army.
Oh, your army. This could be a flavor
Dothy.
Your army's gonna be good. Or should we add something to be more use your army for? We didn't put an altar in here.
I like having 1 altar so that way potentially you can sack it for them 1 mana.
Ashnod's altar.
Do we have a mana sink for anything? Because we have infinite mana combos, right?
Just
but we don't have
We don't have infinite mana.
We don't have a sink.
Well,
we don't have infinite mana either. Well, no, we do. Sorry, breach.
Yeah, you can dockside loot.
Breach. Yeah.
Breach.
And walking ballista for your infinite mana sink.
I don't know. Is ballista good?
Because if you're brain freezing your library away with mana, you'll hit a ballista that you can dump it all into.
Now, I'm not sure how viable Ballista is, because the only thing I know about Ballista is the Heliod combo, because I've died to it more times than I care to count.
There's a couple other ones. Tell them about the greatest one. Yes.
I got this one.
Here,
all right.
baby.
So, we've got an enabler for it first, right? So we can't just start from the combo. We got to start from the enabler, right?
Okay, give it to me.
Final party. Okay.
Oh, I see where you're going now.
Final parting, right? What it does is it tutors for a card and puts a card to the graveyard, right?
We need this.
So, yep. Right here. Search your library for 2 cards. Put one into your hand and the other into the graveyard. The one that goes to the graveyard is revealed. The one going to your hand is not. Cool part about that. So, your target is walking ballista. Okay?
Goes to the yard.
Dude, hold on.
The namesake of the channel is the other card. We need to add that.
Agatha's Soul Cauldron.
This is actually...
Because you get your army has 1/1 counters.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, that.
And your army gets the ballista ability.
Yep. So then we just pull 1/1 counters off.
That's actually the Cauldron Boy flavor. Like it came from literally brewing Cauldron combos.
Yeah.
Well,
and Mike
and I
both know
the case, and I'm gonna have to talk to a artist that I'm a big fan of and see about getting a Cauldron Boy specific version of this card. Yeah,
I love it.
But if we're going with that and maintaining those, does the Ozolith have a place in C?
Yeah.
You don't have enough counter stuff in this deck, but Ozolith does have a place in C. Yeah,
but just not here.
Not here. Yeah, not here.
Okay.
There are decks that severely abuse that.
The colorless version of Ozolith and the green version, they both have a place. It's just not here. If we had more things that counters mattered, yeah.
Well, I like
we're only going to really have the army and ballista that deal with counters.
That's true. Really looking at was that the use for the army, right? Because that's what you're going to be growing every time they cast a spell. That's what you're growing. You just got a big ass beater over and over and over. And the fact that you just said that, you could just get this big ass thing and exile Cauldron. Ballista with Cauldron.
Ooh. A
And
psych rift, if somebody has a bunch of rocks out and you have your commander out, is going to cause you to get a big-ass army, and hopefully you have a Cauldron and you exile the Ballista. Your army's going to get huge.
Would be rifted too,
I just
wouldn't it?
realized that.
Oh,
What?
if you say, oh, you're talking about if you psych rift. Oh,
Yeah, if you psych rift, they have to replay all their mana rocks. If your commander's out, you're going to get a big-ass army after that.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that until right now.
That does make Psych Rift and Overloaded Rift even better.
Yeah.
Not to mention, Orcus Bowmasters now is like fucking super scary.
Yeah, this is a problem.
Yeah, because it's Bowmaster is just going to make our Sauron army bigger and bigger. So not only do you get it if they draw a card, you'll get it for casting it. You just have double the size army.
Run fucking wheel loops with Bowmaster and Sauron out.
Oh, man.
Go ahead, guys. Cast your spells.
Do the
Cast
thing.
your spells or draw cards. I like this.
You want to do both.
Yeah.
Well, we're at 105. Let's trim this. Let's trim this puppy down. All right. First off, we'll go to the land base. We're sitting at 28 lands. Does that seem good? That's a lot of fast mana.
Yeah. 28 lands is
It's
where I
3
want to be
color.
with a 6 mana commander at 3 colors.
Was you on Emergent Zone too? Did you already
I
add that?
did
Yeah,
add
but-
it. I just took out an off-color fetch.
I've never been a fan of off-color fetches, other than like maybe in
There's a
Bolas's
couple.
Citadel decks.
Or that, yeah.
Like this is just honestly, just get him out of there. It doesn't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like taking one card out. It's taking 2.
Yeah. No, we're good with that.
I think we're good with this.
Early
land base is
on,
good.
said Oppo or Dothy would be fine to cut if we had to make cuts. I think Oppo would be better to cut over Dothy at this point.
You think so?
Yeah, just because like.
Well, yeah. If you're
Dothy
gonna like
hates-
wheel,
Yeah. Dothy hates on graveyard plays. And
Oppo's kill
Oppo,
searches.
yeah, just kill searches and is less worrisome. Shutting down somebody's graveyard when we're wheeling anyway
Yeah.
is much better.
It's kind of like a gotcha, like, aha, I got you. You're in a tutor, I gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, gotcha, man.
All right. I'm liking that. Let's keep our creature base. We could probably. It's a lot of tutors. If we had to pick one sorcery, I mean, maybe how many rituals? We're sitting on a lot of rituals. Rite of Flame is a sorcery.
Keep scrolling down through all of the sorceries.
That's it. Oh, sorry, up there it's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Rite of Flame being sorcery speed, I'm fine with.
Yeah, cut the Rite of Flame.
it's just one free, like Simian Spirit Guide. That's how that works. But you need one to cast.
You
it.
may end up with 3 if somebody else used one, but that's the hope.
Yeah.
Rite of Flames haven't been that hot lately, though.
Well, it's
Yeah.
in
Because
copy
of that.
decks. It's good.
Yeah.
Oh, Bolt Bend. We decided not to use that earlier,
Okay.
didn't we?
Bolt Bend. We're gonna keep SWAT.
I'm liking SWAT. I don't know what you guys think, but yeah, with our commander out, if they actually, like he said, if they
I'm
actually
thinking
want
the
to pay
worst
the
case
ward,
is that you have to get it in your opening hand and you're 6 mana from casting your commander.
Yeah, that is the worst case scenario. If once you have it out at all, your commander out at all, and they pay the ward, then it's just going to be
I'd
extra
rather
hard.
have a fucking opt or get probe.
On the flip side of that, right? It is only 3 mana to
Physically cast it.
physically
This
cast.
is a very mana
Like,
demanding deck. Look, hold on, let's take a look.
Yeah, it is very mana demanding. What is our Adnon's total?
1.39. It's not terrible, but I think
Never mind. It's not
We
as bad
need
as I thought.
we need to cut high cost stuff then, because we want that even lower. To be honest,
Yeah.
it's not.
I thought it was
terrible.
1.6 is where I thought we were at.
No, we did good here. This is good for a 6 cost commander. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
it's funny that we're that low. I just got to adjust to this. That we're that low, and you guys are saying we're high. I got to get used to this.
No, that's high. That's a lot. Yeah, it's 1.4 and a turbo noise. Now, if you had 1.2, 1.1 something, you're doing it right.
Yeah, Adnon's you want
You're
to
in
be
the butter zone.
Yeah, you're in the butter.
So my guys, I don't know if y'all know this, but I went into my analytics for my deck for my Vile Smasher Malcolm.
Yeah.
on Adnaz, counting Adnaz, or not counting Adnaz, my deck is a 1.
Jesus. Which one is this?
Whoa.
My Malcolm Ball Smasher, it's a 1.
It's a 1-cost deck?
It is a 1-cost deck, bro.
That's so low.
Fucking yes.
That is gorgeous. That's a beautiful.
Dude.
I can see Mike right now, like, now we're cooking with peanut oil.
yeah.
What is our deck total right now? What have we said?
101, man. We got one more card to
We'll
go.
find one more.
Ooh.
This is tough. This is always the crunch moment.
And I agree with Greg that 28. I almost want to say go to 27, but with the commander being so expensive, I think you can.
And we just cut a ritual too. So.
Well, here's the thing: the more land you have, the more fucking aggressive you can fucking mulligan too.
Yeah.
So like with it being like, I don't know, my decks shit all over me all the time. They'd be like, hey yo, you can go see no.
I think Altar's fine to go. We have enough other sack outlets to where that's fine. Plus we added the Cauldron, so we don't.
It's only
really
going to be
wanna
good when you're amassing, and amassing's online.
Yeah.
So we have 3 enablers now, right, for combos.
Boom.
So we have Necropotence, Final Parting, and our main one, which is Adnaz.
So something to do with all your big
we can
stuff.
say 4 because we're going to end up having a big ass army that we can
Ballista
swing.
and Bowmaster go with Dockside Loops. And we can loop Dockside with Chthonian Nightmare. You can do Breach and Fimmage and Dockside Loops. There's a lot of different ways to do that. With lots of rituals, sacrifice creatures, lots of tempting.
I love the new lingo I'm learning. Fimmage, like, I'm going to use that. Like, I don't know if that's your guys or...
No,
we don't want to say full long words. We're late.
Fimmage is it's a term. It's a kitchen table term that's been around for a while.
I dig it.
Like Steve, like
right. Sakura Tribe Elder Steve, Gary's Grey Merchant.
You're going to be learning the new C
Tim,
names.
back in the day, Prodigal Sorcerer. So
that puts us at 100.
I think this is a great deck. Let's do a brief overcount here, right? We have how many counter spells? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
I'm pretty hot on that.
I'm
pretty
hot on it too. For this, I love it.
We're big anyways. We're big mana. We need some counter magic. We're gonna be fast, but we're also at times gonna be slow, like a little bit slower. If we're not pushing for a win, then we're pushing for Sauron.
Hit him with that cursed totem or some stacks.
We can hit him with some stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. And I'm high on the higher amount of counter magic.
Yeah, you need that. You got to make sure Sauron lands.
Yeah.
It's that simple. So we got a couple different loops and things you can do with Dockside, which every deck kind of does now. You guys want to run through a playtest?
Yeah.
Go through a playtest hand and check out how it works.
God hand. All right.
This is a brand new hand. We're at 7 again.
Agatha's, Reb, Birthday Escape, 1 island. 1 Dark Ritual, 1 Chrome Mox, and a fucking Dockside.
Ooh. What seed are we in? Let me ask you that.
Who cares?
Yeah, that one is literally who cares. Even if I'm in first,
Birthday to Chrome Mox. No.
Then no, you want to do red elemental. So
yeah,
you
want to see a red mana. And then what are you going to draw? Turn 1. It's a Pyretic.
No, yeah, that would have been.
We got fucking yeah.
That's a turn 1 Cauldron Dockside.
Yep.
Next card, Force of Negation. Next card, Ragavan. I'm
pretty sure
that Dockside. I'm pretty sure if you went to turn 2, that Dockside would have got you Sauron money.
Yeah, 5-6 mana for sure. Yeah. NC. It's usually 5 to 6, in my opinion, from what I've been trying to pay attention to. On turn 2, there are times where it's less. Yeah, there's lots of free mana, and enchantments.
Arcane Signet, Dispel, Rhystic Study, Chrome Mox, Felwar Stone, Cavern, and Imperial Seal.
No lands, but you can make 1 blue mana. You have 2 mana at most here, so you can play an Arcane Signet. So
you play Cavern, pitch the Chrome Mox to the Dispel, and then play a
Dispel the Chrome Mox.
Dispel the Chrome Mox, and then let's just.
And the Imperial Seal is probably the best thing you have outside of Rhystic Study.
Yeah, you want to keep those, but you want to get these out.
But you could turn 1 tutor though.
You could turn 1 seal.
Yeah,
turn 1
you could
Imperial Seal.
Imperial Seals to set up a Jeweled Lotus for turn 2.
Oh, right, because you'd have Chrome Mox, Arcane, so you would cast Chrome Mox and Cavern. That's a blue and a colorless. You'd play like an Arcane.
You would have one of your rocks, so that way you would have the colored mana for Seal.
Right. So then Seal.
To get Jeweled Lotus, which gives you 6 mana.
6 mana.
And uncounterable.
And that is turn 2.
That is turn 2 Sauron.
Yep.
No.
Turn 2 Sauron is good enough.
That's good.
Good enough.
That's gonna be a problem for a long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
And just to see what the next card would have been, it was Swan Song and Shieldred.
Well, you would have drawn the Jeweled Lotus. You wouldn't have gotten the Shieldred.
You wouldn't have got the Shieldred.
Oh.
Yeah, it would have been Jeweled Lotus.
That's a lie.
Which would have been amazing to have Shieldred the next draw. Hell yeah.
And then you still would have had a Rhystic in Swan Song in hand. Protection.
Turn 3, Rhystic Study, hold up, Swan Song. That's still good.
So now you're asking them if they pay the 1, and then you're just moving that dice that you have.
You draw all them cards, go to your turn, fucking get tempted, discard your hand. Thanks for that.
You guys have ruined me. All right, that's it.
So.
I'm done.
All right, so I'm hype about this. Let's be back to that.
I think this is good to go, ready to fire off. Now we just got to get you the cards or set up to play OBS style.
Hey guys, thank y'all for making it all the way to the end of the video. A couple big things that need to be talked about. First big thing is Season 3, cEDH, Tournament Eternal. Guys, what do we got? We got 4 or 5 days left. It's coming up on the 12th.
On the 12th.
Yep.
But you can join at any time. Players can join at any time.
Yeah.
At any time. So all y'all got to do is hit up either one of the moderators in the Ironborn or one of the 3 boys. Next big thing that we have to talk about is, guys, we are an affiliate with Jank Mats. We are in their creators corner. Our boy Gruesome Bubbles down here put down the scratchy scratch on the piece of paper, sent it over, and they they made a mat and they did their thing. I promise you, they did their thing. So did Greg. Look at that. Look at that.
Get it.
She's a Bew Clark.
It's just a mic.
Wow.
Just a random old mic. Don't get it.
Come on. We actually got another mat that came up on the Creators Corner 2 weeks ago, and we've got one in the works right now. So y'all, we got actually 2 in the works right now. So y'all pay attention, be on the lookout. This one might be y'all's cup of tea.
3 in the works.
Oh, 3? I didn't know about the 3rd one. Guys,
Duskmourn, the Innistrad, and the Secret.
So I want to take a second and talk about Untouchable Threads, where we now have like a slew of merchandise. Come support your boys. UntouchableThreads.shop, links in the description. We have shirts, hoodies, zip-ups, hats, and some other stuff. So
Puzzles, wall hangers.
Well, that stuff's coming. The products are coming, but right now we have a Cauldron Boys specific line. About 4 or 5 more products in there, and that's big boy stuff. Everything that we make goes back to the prize pools. Everything that we've been earning is going into the support for the free leagues, and that's where it's at. We're here for you guys.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, if you win one of the free leagues, you get a Jank Mat.
You get a Jank Mat.
Jank Mats is actually sponsoring
Jank Mat with your name on it.
And pre-con's ending. This is the last week, and then we have playoffs. And we've actually decided to give away a little bit extra because everybody just played so well and was so fast to get their games in this league that it went really swimmingly. We're all really excited how hype everybody has been to play. So we're like, let's just do it.
Did you say playoffs?
Playoffs. Yeah. That's how it goes. So at the end, when rankings happen, typically what happens is you have 16 to 20 people. The points kind of create scenarios where games have to go down, and people have a choice to be in it or not, and will have a chance. So just having the most points doesn't get you the win. You have to go and win. You still have to win the table.
Okay, well, to everybody listening, I'm going to say this right now. This is the playoffs. If you want to get that free Jake mat, you better do it now, because on the next time around when me and my boy Sauron show up, it's in the bank for me, all right? I'm just making that. We're going to say it right now, all right? I am going to bring the thunder, all right, Cauldron Boys style.
Hell yeah, I can't wait to
that next one, table. All me.
Dude, I'm excited. We've got some really strong competitors in the Ironborn. Shout out to Appa, who won the last cEDH tournament. Shout out.
He did. He brought Kadena and showed up and made.
He brought Kadena and shocked me, at least. I don't know if he shocked the world, but he shocked me.
He's just one of those people that can play so interactively, especially with that morph deck. You can never see it coming.
Yep. Guys, TikTok news. Guys, we're getting close to that 500 giveaway. Come on, guys. Come show us some love. Okay. Right, Machu. Guys. Yeah. Guys.
Machu, anything you want to take us out with?
No, just the typical stuff. Check me out on TikTok. It's again, Machu_801. But more importantly than that, check out the Cauldron Boys. Get them to the 500 they need to get to plus. Other than that, check out my weekend streams if you get the chance. Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we're going to be doing the Flavor Savers. If you like janky sort of brewing and some themed out decks, check it out. Following day, 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Midday Magic. If you're a fan of the Cauldron Boys, you would definitely be a fan of the shenanigans we pull over there.
So they're both on TikTok?
Yeah, both on TikTok.
All right, perfect.
The Saturday night is streamed on my channel, and then the Sunday Midday Magic is always streamed on Swamp Noob. So I'm usually linked in the co-creator or one of the joints, but...
Perfect. Yep, that's where we see you. I see you all the time, baby.
Yep.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, I appreciate you guys having me. You guys working with me and kind of holding my hand through this process. I really appreciate it 1,000 times over.
Hopefully we created a monster.
I think you might have, just so that you guys know.
It's Magic. That's why we're Magic, baby.
Yeah. No, I've been a casual player for the longest time, and the cEDH players were always kind of like the boogeyman amongst my LGS. And I kind of realized as I went along in my Magic journey that it wasn't necessarily, at least for me, it wasn't cEDH the format that was really the problem. It was a certain type of players. But as I've met Mike, Noble, and Greg, and I've gotten more games in with you and various other people, it's not the boogeyman that it's supposed to be. It's just fun. It's just a certain way of play, and there's no apologies, no feeling, no bad hurt feelings. We're just gonna go. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to jumping into this pool and mixing it up with everybody. Definitely.
I think we're gonna have a good time.
I think you are too, man, and I am super happy of your growth. We met 6 months ago now.
Yeah, January, February.
You were actually one of the first people that were in our comments and saying like, "Hey, I'm gonna be checking this out." And we appreciate all the support that you've given us through this short amount of time and how far we've come. And we appreciate you so much. And that's why we share the love where we can in the Midday Magic and in your other stream too, man. That's we just want to give back to you as much as you've given to us.
Savers. They give us up here now.
Yep.
We'll be saying it when we go to bed and be like, Flavor Savers. That's so good.
Nah, I appreciate it. And for you guys also, I think that's actually kind of what we name it, because both of us are proud bearded guys, and that's what we saved it. Like, well, between that and us trying to take it back. But I got to thank my boy Matty Mayo 8808 for that. We were coming up with like, what would we call it if we were to do our own stream? What would we call it? And when he did that, it rung the bell. I'm like, that's it. Like, we don't even need to talk about it any further. We have our name.
Yeah, I know exactly that feeling.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward because I know this is just the start for you guys. You guys keep hustling, keep grinding,
Thanks,
and you guys are at the start of an amazing journey, and I can't wait to watch it and just to be part of it in this portion of it. And then I'm going to be a fan for life. You guys watching what you guys doing, big things over here.
We're
big
all
things.
going to the top together, right?
Yeah.
Nothing but the sky.
Up there, baby.
We're linked.
All right, are we out? All right, good night, goodbye. Hey,
Good night. Have a good one.
hey, forget about
Peace.
it.
Oh. Noble dies.